and welcome to Learning Music with Pat. I have a group of notes that I want to show you, fingering charts that I want to show you today. But when I start, I'm going to play a piece just to get us started. And this is a piece that I wrote this morning. It just kind of came to me and I wrote it down. And I'm not going to play it fast. It's in the key of G. It has one sharp. I don't have it up there for you to see. I have the fingering charts instead. It's in 4/4 time. And, you know, as you think, and this is what I want to tell you about writing music, a lot of people, they have music go through their head. You know, they kind of hear it in their mind. If you want to learn how to write music, and you're a person who can hear music in your mind, that's the time to write it down. And I'm going to show you at some point and just do a segment on writing down music that you hear in your mind, because that's the beginning of your learning how to write music if you want to do some composing. Well, this came to me this morning and I wrote it down, and you have to write it down when you hear it. Because if you wait, at some point you're going to lose it. And it doesn't necessarily come back. In fact, usually it does not come back. So this is a little piece, and I wanted to play it because it uses the notes that I'm teaching you how to play. It goes to the F sharp, and it goes to the low D, and it goes to the high D as well. So, and I have been teaching you a little bit about those higher notes. So let's begin, and I'll play it not too fast. 4/4 key of G, and this is how it goes. Simple song, there's not much to it, but the reason I want to play it is it makes use of the notes that you're learning, and it's much easier and much more fun to play a song to learn the various fingerings of notes than it is just to sit there and say, okay, C, D, C, D. Wouldn't it be better just to have a song to play? It's more interesting, the kids like it better, and that's the way I teach. So now let me go to the fingering charts that I've been talking about for quite a while. And what I have done is I'm going from the low C all the way up to the high C. I'm not tackling sharps and flats because it would be way too long to do this, but I am tackling just the main notes. So what I have over here is the notes in the staff, and I will mark out the notes that I'm going to be showing over here. And then you have the fingering of the note on the staff. I have a small staff, and then I have the keyboard and where that note appears on the keyboard. And this here will show you what the fingering is to that note. So let's start with the low C. The low C is the middle C on a piano, but the lowest C that a woodwind can get, basically, and we're talking about recorders here, but other instruments as well. So here's your low C. And on the staff, it's going to be way over here. And here it is on the keyboard, right here, middle C. I have it colored out. And the fingering for it is every tone hole closed, and the thumb hole, which is a little circle on one side, is also closed. And so all of it is closed. It is the lowest note that you can get. And if I'm to show you on a regular recorder, you can see this is the front of the recorder, and you can see everything is closed here. It's blackened in. The note on the staff once again, and this is the back of the recorder, and this is the thumb hole. That is closed as well. Basically on the low C, everything is closed. And then we get to the next one, which is going to be the D. If I can get the page to turn right. Okay, that low D is going to be right here. And on the staff, you can see it's right here. There is this group of notes is both treble and bass clef. So it's going to appear here when you have treble and bass clef together. And so this is where it is on the staff. And this is where it is on the keyboard, right next to that C. This is the D. And you notice that all of the notes, all of the tone holes are closed, with the exception of the bottom one. You just lift up the bottom one, and these are the rest of them that are closed. And And if you were to lay the instrument down, you can see the back of it with the tone hole closed, and all of these closed except for one, and that would be the lowest one. So that's your low D. Now let's go on. If I'm going to show it to you on a regular recorder. Here's the regular recorder, the front face. This is the lowest note. All of these, and this is the lowest note that's closed. You do have that one that you lifted up, and that's open on the staff. And you can see the tone hole in the back of the instrument is closed. That's going to continue for quite a while. So now we go, excuse me, to the D, to the E. The low E is going to be right here. And it's going to be right here when you have the treble and the bass clefs together. Right here on the staff, it's the first line up, excuse me, first line up. Here it is on the keyboard. And then you have all of these notes closed, and you have lifted up another one. So now there are two that are vacant, that are not closed. They are open tone holes. And if you see the instrument laying on its side, you can see that the last two are open. The E, the E, the E. Those are low E's. That's how that's played. And if I'm going to show it to you on a regular recorder, here's your B, A, G, F, E. You see there are two are now open. The rest of them are closed. The tone hole for the thumb is already closed, and this is the way it appears on the staff. Now, let's go on to the F. Here's the F. It's going to be right here. And it's going to be right here when you have the bass and the treble clefs together. Here it is on the staff. Here it is on the keyboard. It's one, you have those two black notes, and then it's two white notes away from that. So this is the F. And then you see there are two fingerings for the F. Here it is normally, B, A, G, F. So you have three that are now open, and here it is on the staff. And if you have a Baroque instrument, you're going to add that finger down. So B, A, G, F, and you skip one and add one more note. And I have it shown both this way, B, A, G, F, 3 now open, B, A, G, F, 1 open with 1 closed and the other open. And that's how you play the F. 2 Fs because of the Baroque, a finger sings a little bit different. If I'm to show you on a regular recorder, your tone hole for the thumb hole is still closed, but you have B, A, G, F. You skip one and add another one for the Baroque. For the German fingering, it's B, A, G, F. The rest of it is open, and here it is as it appears on the staff. Now let's look at the G. The G is right here. If you're looking at it with two staffs together, treble and bass, the G is right here. Here it is on the staff. Here it is on the keyboard. If you have 3 black notes, the first in between the 2 black notes on the left is going to be the G. And this is not so hard to play. You have 1, 2, 3, and the rest of them are open, except, of course, for the tone hole for the thumb. That's still closed. Here it is on the staff. Excuse me, you only have 3, and if you have the instrument down, it's 1, 2, 3, and the tone hole still closed, the rest of them open. So I'm trying to show them to you both with the instrument standing up and the instrument laying down. If I'm to show them to you on a regular recorder, the tone hole for the thumb, which I always call the thumb hole, or should always call the thumb hole, is closed. Only three covered, tones hole closed, and then you have the rest is open. Here it is on the staff. So that's the G, and we'll go to the next one. Whoops, if I can get the pages open right. Now we go to the A. The A is the second space up. If you're looking at it, it'll be right here. If you're looking at it with both of the clefs together, it'll be right here, but it's the same thing. A is open. Here it is It's right beside the G on the keyboard. And then here's it is on the staff. You only have two, and then you have your thumb hole closed, but you only have two. Everything else is open. And as you can see with the instrument laying on its side, you only have two, and the thumb hole is also closed. If I show it to you on a regular recorder, it's simple, just two plus the thumb hole, and here it is again on the staff, and that's how you play that A. It's one of the simpler notes to play on the recorder. Now we get to the B. We're almost an octave done already. Just one note, one on top, with the thumb hole closed, and here it is on the staff. Here it is if you have the clefs together on the staff. Here it is right here, and you just have that one down and the thumb hole closed, and that's the way it is here as well. And then if I want to show it to you on a regular recorder, here's the front face of the recorder. One note closed. This note is a staff note, thumb hole closed. That's all there is to it when you're playing the B. Now, whoops, let me get this over here. Now we're playing the C. The C is going to be right here on the staff. With the staff together, your C is going to be right here. And if you look at the keyboard, it's one octave. I did have the middle C kind of checked so you could have reference to it, but this is the C that you'd be playing. It's the third space up. There's only one note, and it's not the top note. The top note by itself would be the B. You lift that finger up, and it's the second note down with the thumb hole that makes it the C. That's how it's played. And you can see as the instrument is laying down that this is the C. Tone hole closed, second hole closed as well, and here it is on the keyboard. So we've got through one whole octave here. If I'm to show it to you on a regular recorder, we have the C right here on the staff. Thumb hole is still closed. It's not really a hard note to play at all on the recorder. Now you get into a little bit harder stuff, because now we're going into the D, and the D is different. The D on the staff is going to be right here. We are now on the second octave. With that D, we're on the second octave. That D appears right here on the staff. Here it is on the keyboard. This is the octave where it would be if we were playing the lower D. And you have this one note. It's like the C, but you don't have the thumb hole. The thumb hole is open. And this is the difference between the C and your D. When you're playing the C, the thumb hole is closed. You lift your thumb off. The thumb hole is open, and you have that same note that you are playing for a C, but because the thumb hole is open, you are now going to get a D instead. So that's how you play the D. Now, on a regular recorder, thumb hole open, one note closed. There's no thumb hole. I didn't even draw one in here, but the thumb hole is open, and there it is on the staff. We are, as I said before, on the second octave. Now, E, this is when you're going to start half-holing. The E is going to be right here. It's going to be right here. Here it is on the staff. Here it is on the keyboard. And here it is, B, A, G, F, E. It's like the lower E, except now that you have half-holing on the thumb hole. On the thumb hole, that's only half closed. That's how you get the E. If I were going to close the whole thumb hole, I would get the low E and not the high E. So we're now starting half-holing for the upper notes. That will pull you up an octave. You can see here on it that it is a half-holed, half-covered thumb hole. And then it's like the lower E. These two are open. The rest of it is the same as the lower E. F is a higher F. And here again, you're going to have a half hole. The F is right here, and the F is right here. This would be the octave below it for a lower F, right here on the last line. And you have B, A, G, F. Only those 4 plus a half hole for the thumb hole. The thumb hole is now half holed, and we're going to do that for a few notes. If you're playing a Baroque, you do as you do the lower F, you just add that one more note there to make it in pitch. So you have both the German and fingering and the Baroque fingering. And the German fingering is just these 4. The Baroque fingerings are these 4 plus that one note, and you half hole the thumb hole, and here it is on the staff. If I'm to show you on a regular recorder, here it is, B, A, G, F. Everything else is open. Here it is on the staff, and you have half holing for the thumb hole, and that's how you play your F. For the G, it's only 3 notes. You half hole the thumb hole. Here it is on the staff. Here it is on the keyboard. If you're laying the instrument down, B, A, G, and you half hole, that doesn't come in quite so clear. That G is right here, and that G is right here on the staff. So we're getting pretty high up. And if I'm showing you on the regular recorder, you have 3 closed. This is a staff note, and you half hole the thumb hole. That's how you play your high G. Now we're practically up to the top of what I want to do. This is the A. The A is going to be right here, and I don't have it on the lower. Here it is on the staff. It has a ledger line in it. You have 2 that are covered, and you half hole that thumb hole, and here it is on the staff. Okay, so that's the A. If I show it to you on a regular recorder, you only have 2 holes closed. It has the 1 ledger line, and you half hole that thumb hole, and that's how you play the high A. Now we only have basically 2 more notes to go here. Here is the B with 1 ledger line below it. And it's right here at the top of the keyboard, the second one down. And here you do a difference in terms of the fingering. You use your 2 top with your left hand, and you skip 1, and then you do your 2 right with your left hand, and that's half holding the thumb. So you do have a different fingering pattern for the B and the C. So 2 here, skip, 2 here. The ledger line is now underneath. It's a little higher than the A, and we're almost at the top here. And if you can see it with the instrument laying down, 2 space 2, and then this is the B. It's next to the top. Now, this is not a full keyboard, so it would look a little different with a full keyboard. And so here you have your half holding it, and you have your 2 with your left hand, 2 with your right hand, with the space in the middle, and here's the ledger line, and that's the way it is. Now, for the C, that's the top note that the recorder is going to play. The C is right here. It's got 2 ledger lines, and you have, that's the last one on the keyboard. You have 1 finger down with your left hand, 2 fingers down, 1 finger down, this is also the left hand, 1, skip 2, 1, and then your right hand plays this. It's a harder note to play, but it can do it quite easily, and here it is on top. So if I'm to show you this on a regular graph here, you're half holding your thumb hole for this, and here's the note as it appears on the staff, and then you have this 1 hole covered, you skip 2, and then you have those 2 played. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 down, 2 open, 1, 2 closed, the rest of them open, half holding the C on the thumb hole, and there it is on the staff. So this is all of the notes, major notes that the instrument can play. It doesn't include the sharps, it doesn't include the flats, but it does include all of the major fingerings for all of the notes that it can play. And it is a 2-octave instrument. And some people say it's the easiest instrument to play. I think that every instrument has its challenges, and people say, well, what's the easiest instrument to play? Well, maybe it's the recorder, maybe not. It depends upon whether you want brass or woodwind. But every instrument is going to have its challenge. So when people say to me, what instrument do you think is easiest to play? I'm going to say, well, it depends upon how good you want to be. The recorder's not hard, but it does have its challenges, as do all other instruments. But it's a beautiful instrument, and you have to remember, I'll have it engraved on my tombstone maybe, the recorder is not a toy. It is a regular instrument, and there are many orchestras in which everybody in the orchestra is playing a recorder. In European orchestras, you have recorders playing, we would just recorder orchestras playing all kinds of classical music. I write classical music for the recorder. I perform classical music with the recorder. I actually perform songs that come from George Hendrick, Messiah. The Messiah, I do play instrument. I do play solos from the Messiah that I do, and I've specially arranged for the recorder. So it's not just a toy, it's a regular bona fide instrument. So we're running out of time, but we've gone through this. And I've wanted to do this for quite a while, just show you every single major fingering for every single major note, and we have done that. So I'll be doing something different next time, so I'll close it here, and please join me next time.